Most Dutch doors look great in pictures, but they fall apart in practice, right? Today, I'm sharing 15 tips to elevate your spreads from basic paper cutting to professional level layouts. We are covering everything from structural integrity to the hidden aesthetic tricks the pros use. Let's make sure your next cut is your best one. And guess what? Pretty isn't always functional. What's up, everyone? This is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Here, I share tips, ideas, and inspiration to make your planner and journal spreads pretty and functional. Let me quickly do a flip through of some of these journals that I have completed here. And as and when I complete the journals, I do have clips that I can use for reference, just like here. And I'm starting with my last year's journal, the one for December. And this was before I started writing in them. And these were a fun set of setups that I had done. And let me just go back to the beginning of December, and you can see how fun and festive this is. Simple pockets, interactive elements that I can always use. And you see all those interactive elements. And this is the next setup. This was also Live, Love, Posh, just like the earlier one. I brought in such vibrant colors, not the traditional holiday Christmas ones. And these are other setups that I had done. This was a self-care one. And you see how much of a variety we have in here. And these are horizontal Dutch doors because that's what a lot of people need inspiration for. And this is the last set of pages, and these were entirely planning thing. And this is a B5 journal, just so that you will have a sense of the sizes. And this is my A5 from Live, Love, Posh, and this is the first set of pages. I had started writing in them, but I thought I will do a full flip through of the last set of pages. And you can see how it is really useful and fun. I start with very simple setups like these, some basic journaling pages, and then you'll have all sorts of variety when it comes to my channel. And this was a fun set of journaling kits that Live, Love, Posh had come out with, and this was using some distress inks as well. And this was one of the more advanced techniques. And I have lots of ideas that I have shared so far on my platforms. And as you can see, there is a good mix of vertical and horizontal Dutch doors. So in this video, I will be sharing some very useful tips for you to get started on Dutch doors, even if you are a complete beginner or if you have been playing around with the Dutch doors for some time. And here is one from last year, last summer, and this was the B6. And as you can see, the Dutch doors can be in a variety of different styles. And I have horizontal ones, the vertical ones, and also some smaller rectangular Dutch doors that can be categorized into various forms. I do have some writing in them, so I'm not zooming it really close, but you get the gist of it. And I have the full setups, mind you. So all that can be found in the description. And this is one journal I had prepped for a friend of mine, and it will be headed her way very soon. And this was so fun, really fun setups that I have done, really colorful ones, neutral ones, lots of creative ideas I got to try. I started with this Snow White one. I have used the washi tape shop where this was one of the very popular ones. And again, some more advanced Dutch doors. And I have my code Priya10 can earn you 10% off when it comes to planning thing, Live, Love, Posh, the washi tape shop, Archer and Olive, and a lot of other shops. And I will have all the shops, products, and all that linked below. How fun was this? See, once you get comfortable with the whole concept, you can dive into advanced ones like these. And I love to bring in the distress oxides and mixed mediums, but I'm trying to limit it to the basic setup. Another one that I had done, and this was again a B6, and this was a wedding journal that I had prepped for my cousin's wedding. And you see how colorful this is. I brought in lots of stickers, lots of shops, and lots of interesting elements that I did. How fun is this? And this is just a quick peek into some of the setups that I have done, because I like to experiment with this, as you have, if you have not guessed that by now, rather. And this is my current journal, which I started in 2026. And this is the last set of pages I'm yet to write in. And this was again entirely the washi tape shop. I brought in some eyeliners. For the most part, it is the washi tape shop. And so was this, starting off February. So again, I get asked the size comparison. So that is a B5. On top of that, we have the A5. And we have the B6, which stands right like so. And this is like a good comparison of the sizes. And let's get into our tips now. So coming to this, I have picked a simple sticker book. It's a tropical florals from the Happy Planner. And the journal is an A5 from Live Love Posh. And I have all my tools, all my necessary stuff that I normally like to use, because it's a very useful size, very popular size. And this is the tropical florals, which I have not used much. And you make sure that you pick simple stickers and just have all your tools handy, and we will get going. And mind you, I will have all the tools and all that useful information ready in the description for you. And I have some eyeliners, some basic stuff that you can get started with. And let's get to the pages now. This is a very gorgeous journal. And they even have a pocket in the back for the journal. If you want to keep maybe a few washi tapes, a washi sample cards, or maybe some sticker labels or something, you can keep it there. Dutch door tip number 1, pick simple stickers, symmetrical shapes, florals, circles, squares. Circles are one of the easiest ones you can pick, and have some stability going so that you can cut like a pro. Dutch door tip number 2, put your stickers all the way to the edges. It's visually more appealing, and the Dutch doors make more sense when more layers get added. Try spacing them out just a bit. You might position and reposition some of the elements, and don't be afraid to do that. Once you're satisfied, you can move to the next step, which is, if needed, you can fill some of the white space that you see, and you can even separate these elements separately. So Dutch door tip number 3, do not be afraid to cut your stickers to fit the space you have in hand. And here I'm just going with the non-cutting option, because I think we can accommodate these smaller elements, because there are some tiny elements in this sticker book. Always have a self-healing cutting mat handy, and play around with different cutting tools that you have available. What I'm using here is called a gyro cut, and I've linked it below. So Dutch door tip number 4, use a variety of cutting tools. You will find your favorite, and you will get to know what fits your style the best. Just because I like my gyro cut does not mean you necessarily will. You can use a normal cutting tool like a paper trimmer. You can use a Fisker ceramic knife. It all depends on your comfort. Continue to the other side of the Dutch door, and since we have chosen circle stickers, it should be simple and quick, and you just follow the same shapes and just continue. Usually in a sticker book, the color patterns you see exactly in the sticker book works best. So just continue on with that same order and you will have completed the Dutch door in no time. Continue using the filler elements, as in the smaller, the water bubbles and the starfish and all those smaller things here, or something similar if you have done that in the first page, just so that there will be no white space that is visible. And if you're okay with that, that's fine too, because I like to have that kind of a full look when I turn the page as well. So you have a good selection, as you can see in every sticker book. Lots of these filler elements come in handy, much more than you think. Dutch door tip number 5. The first Dutch door helps you decide on the second Dutch door placement, because you need to see where the first Dutch door finishes, and then you set up the next page, which will be the next layer. And you can pick solid florals, or you can go for an assortment of elements like what I did, and just play around, have fun with it, and you will see a very pretty spread no matter what, because the elements do blend together pretty well. Dutch door tip number 6. When you place the elements or stickers next to each other, try putting contrasting colors right next to each other, so that way it gives a better visual appeal. And you can bring in animals, birds, any other deco element that are available in the same sticker book, because they all complement together and it is like a full collection when you look at it. And once you're done, you can look at the whole layering action, and that does look pretty well once it's all done. And just make sure that you bring in various colors to go with the contrasting theme, and you can mix in the different sizes and shapes. And also some of these filler elements always come in handy, so it could look like a wave from behind there. You have all sorts of variety when it comes to stickers. And now let's get our next Dutch door all cut out, nice and simple. And that comes out very easy. Dutch door tip number 7. Invest in a good set of tools. The tweezers, the scissors. You need really sharp, these needle tip, needle nose tweezers are some of my favorites, and you see me use this all the time. And if you are looking for nice precision ones like these, I have linked it in the description if you have not been able to go find a good one for yourself. And they are from Journal Say. And my code Priya can earn you 8% off when you shop Journal Say. So you can see how I'm bringing in similar shapes on the back pages as well. And let's now talk a bit about how many is a good number when it comes to doing Dutch doors. Dutch door tip number 8. For the vertical Dutch doors, I would suggest, if you have like 4 or 5, it should not be a problem. It should not affect the integrity of the journal, of the spine. But if you're doing horizontal Dutch doors, I think 2 or 3 would be a good number, because you end up cutting too close to the spine and the whole notebook or the journal might fall apart on you. And that's not what we need, right? Another question I get asked frequently is how I make sure that my journal does not get too chunky by the time I'm in the finishing pages, because I like to write until the very last page of each journal. Dutch door tip number 9, how to avoid a chunky journal. Use stickers that are thin, as in the clear stickers, washi stickers, or PET stickers. so that you can control all the smaller things or the smaller millimeters or even smaller measurements, and that it adds up in the longer run. So pick clear ones. So avoid thick sticker paper, thick papers or scrapbook paper which are really thick, like say 150 GSM, and you can add bulkiness to the pages before you even realize it's happening. It would have gotten chunky, and I know a lot of you are into junk journaling these days, but then I don't think the chunky journal is an issue. You will want to keep adding all those textures, those elements. But if you are somebody who likes to keep your journal or creative journal, be it anything, or your daily journal, just your jotting down memories journal, whatever, if you would like to avoid the chunkiness of the journal, please make sure that you pick thinner elements to use in your setups. Let's come to our next tip, Dutch door tip number 10. Codes are not a must, but if you have room, if you can accommodate that and also bring in some of the colors or try to balance the colors, you can bring in a coat and try to bring at least one or two. But if you need more quotes in the remaining pages, feel free. And on to tip number 11, Dutch door tip number 11, use boxes to bring in other shapes, colors, or pick elements that you otherwise don't end up using. You know your style and you know exactly what you don't end up using in different sticker books. So for me, I personally see that I don't reach for these decorative boxes. So I always try and use that up in the beginning of diving into any sticker book. And as you can see, I'm just putting it at a slanted angle, say like a 45 degrees, 40 degrees. Don't worry too much about the angle though. Just try to line it up. And even if it's not perfect, it's fine because you will be cutting it. Yes. And that's why I insisted that we need a good pair of scissors, and do clean your tools regularly so that it can stay nice and sharp and work the best of their ability. So as you can see, I'm just saving all those corners. All the scraps are going to get used. And you will see how we do that, because you can see a lot of those corner pieces that are just perfect for the angles we have, and try mixing the different colors to see where each of those end and the smaller pieces are being brought in. So it just brings some interest, some balance of colors, all of that good stuff that we all like to see as journalers and stationery enthusiasts. And this is the left side, which came together pretty quick. Do you agree? And if you run out of the shapes that you're looking for, you can always go back to the sticker book and pick maybe one sticker or so, which can be used in various places. And you see how I picked up that small deco sticker, which is going to be used in two different spaces, and still we'll have a proper sticker for use in later pages. And I'm just putting it back to the sticker book. And let's get to the next tip, which is layers and clusters always look best together, and they always look better than the plain boxes, solid boxes, right? Do you agree? And I'm just trying to bring in some more of those colors. And this is another trick to hiding those uneven edges we have with the stickers, the decorative stickers. And I kept that deliberately that way because I wanted to show you how you can use just a very unfinished, not so symmetrical, and a differently looking spread and still end up with something pretty, because you just hide those corners and those extra spaces, because I can always come and add a washi tape and trim the excess. I can do that. It brings in a very clean finish, but not everybody has the patience to do that. So I thought this was a fun way of embracing those uneven edges of the boxes, which is also fine because even if you don't like what you see, it's a learning process because you do learn. Don't overthink it, and you will learn something new with everything you do. And continue using up a lot of the boxes, which always come in handy for all those tidbits and the small memories that happen throughout the week, because normally it is my journal, daily journal, that I use these dot grid journals for. And I like to highlight some of the special things that my kids said or did, or we made some memory. We picked up something special, something of that sort, small, those tiny moments that matter in the long run. And that's all there is, because there are all these boxes which are waiting for you. And I love that I can combine them in different ways. And you see how I'm bringing in different shapes, colors, and all that can be used every single time. And even if they have a differently shaped, maybe like a slanted corner or so, you can still hide that part. All sorts of possibilities when it comes to bringing in boxes in your journals. And you see how quickly it all comes together. And there are even colored boxes in a lot of sticker books. So that also helps balance some of those colors. And this is the next cluster. And if you know me, you may have noticed I like to bring in some additional deco elements sometimes in some clusters, not everything. So I'm just making sure there's nothing more that I would like to bring in here. And we will bring in some additional quotes to our clusters. Why not? Because these are so pretty. And I did not want to use the same quote on either side. So I'm going to bring in a different quote, and these can be stacked. There is so much you can do with these washi strip stickers with quotes on them. And as you can see, we are going through the sticker book pretty quickly. And we also have some of these smaller deco, which I think some white space could be filled using that. And if you can manage, just stick to one sticker book. That is, again, something I like to tell a lot of folks, because, again, I get asked that question a lot. Where do I start? What do I keep in mind? So that's, again, another common thing I tell folks who reach out with very specific questions. And Dutch Door's tip number 13. Bring in highlighters or colored pens for headers, boxes, or even to point out key parts of your journaling. Say, again, you went on a roller coaster ride with your 3-year-old. That definitely calls for a lot of things that he would have said, he or she would have expressed while you were there. And I'm just picking 3 colors that I thought went with these themes and these colors we have going on. And I don't necessarily do it every week, every time. Sometimes I come and add my liners to write my date. And tip number 14, don't overthink it, just dive right in. That's the most common advice I have for folks who are starting off. And Dutch Door tip number 15, always practice to improve your skills. That truly helps you go through the cutting process in a jiffy, and you feel more confident that way. So I hope you have found all these Dutch Door tips helpful. Let me know if you have thought of anything additional. And please check out all the other setups I have on my channel. I have a whole bunch of videos for inspiration. And please find all the shops, codes, links, all that useful stuff in the description. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.